The National Weather Service doing something they've never done before.
In the summertime, I hate being out here.
Because of the hot weather in South Florida. A sinking feeling.
The concrete over at my building is also cracking.
For renters in Southwest Florida. And America's gun violence crisis attracts the attention of one of the president's cabinet members.
The healthcare crisis in this country.
These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Amanda Gray.
And I'm Kenya Cardone. Today is Thursday, June 15th of 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
It's getting hot in here as Florida reaches dangerous temperatures. Yesterday, for the first time, the National Weather Service issued its new heat advisory for South Florida, and today is going to be just as hot.
Caplin News reporter Lan Abu-Tarboush is live in downtown Miami at the public library that's been utilized as a cooling center for those looking for a little AC.
As we enter the summer, extreme heat is taking a toll on both marginalized communities as well as those people who find themselves spending hours under the sun. Now, I'm here in Miami-Dade, in one of the biggest libraries in Miami-Dade, where a lot of people are coming to cool off and freshen up.
Temperature is now on the rise, and many residents lack access to air conditioning or reliable cooling options, leaving them vulnerable to the blistering temperatures.
As soon as I wake up, I walk outside and it's hot, so I try to find places to go, maybe even the metro. I'll stay up there for a little bit, just ride the bus, and then once the library opens, I'll come here, cool down, and get some water and kind of just wind down.
Local cooling centers like public libraries and community centers provide vital respite from the intense heat. However, many still struggle to sleep in these unbearably hot conditions.
In the summertime, I hate being out here. It's making me miserable. I can't sleep at night because I sleep on the bridge. Me and my boyfriend and the puppies, they outside. I can't even sleep. It be so hot. I be sweating.
Going to sleep is very hard. I find it very difficult. I look forward to a breeze or something. And last night, some guy gave me the frozen bottle, literally, of water, and it melted a little. I was able to use that to cool off, and it made me feel better. I think I went to sleep after that.
As the temperatures soar, it's crucial to prioritize safety and take necessary precautions. Staying hydrated is essential during this time to mitigate the risk associated with the extreme heat.
Outside work you have to take a lot of breaks because of the extreme heat. So I've seen a lot of heat illnesses. They would faint, pass out. And, when you get a heat illness, it's permanent. It's a lifelong effect.
To avoid heat illnesses, make sure to stay hydrated and also make sure to take frequent breaks from being under the sun. I'm reporting live for the Caplin News, Lan Abu-Tarboush.
A new Republican candidate from Florida has entered the presidential race. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez has filed the paperwork to run for president. He is set to speak tonight in California, where he'll announce his candidacy. Suarez is the latest to enter and is considered a long-shot candidate. He is the third from Florida, along with Governor Ron DeSantis and former President Donald Trump.
Just hours after former President Trump's historic court appearance, he received a $2 million fundraising boost. After his arraignment in Miami, Trump flew to his golf resort in New Jersey. And a source says he met with his high-end donors there and managed to raise $2 million towards his re-election campaign. Trump denies any wrongdoing and has pleaded not guilty to 37 federal charges involving his mishandling of classified documents.
Residents in Fort Myers are being evacuated from their apartment building due to a sinkhole that's opening up from under, as Caplin's Jennifer Rivas reports.
A Fort Myers community is struggling with an alarming situation as a large apartment complex faces a potential risk of sinking. One of the buildings at 81 west of 6 Mile Cypress Parkway is having settlement issues. The building is at risk of collapsing into a hole that's opened up, and some residents say they have felt their units tilting.
My door and my window, the alignment is off.
Concrete over at my building is also cracking. There are holes underneath, under other people's units over at Building 5.
Tenants have been forced to relocate due to 2 sinkholes in the same place. Concerns about its structural integrity began to emerge recently when residents noticed alarming cracks on the concrete floor. According to experts and engineers contracted by the management company, these changes were not present before the building and the structure passed or required building inspections prior to any residents moving in.
Is it safe for the other residents? Was it built on a swamp? I mean, are we in danger of, like the Miami buildings that sank or the Orlando building?
In the meantime, they offer people options, either relocate within the community or move to another community, allowing residents to break their lease without penalty and cover the cost of moving. One of the tenants who is still living on the other side of Building 3, that's Tilton, say they got an email on the last week of May, shortly after they were asked to leave because there was something wrong with their foundation.
I'm scared. I'm actually looking to move out.
For Caplin News, I'm Jennifer Rivas.
Today, the Health and Human Services Secretary is warning Americans that they are facing a crisis, and the threat is gun violence. Caplin's Nicole Sweat reports from the Control Center.
Federal officials are now sounding the alarm on a gun violence crisis the nation has been facing for years.
Chaos erupts during a gathering in Denver, where at least 9 people were injured during a mass shooting downtown as crowds gathered to celebrate the Nuggets' historic first NBA championship win. Police say they believe the shooting overnight Monday into Tuesday had nothing to do with the celebration, but likely stemmed from a drug deal turned violent.
I think our strong suspicion at this point is that 5 or 6 of those were completely innocent bystanders.
Nearby crime scene tape lines a Denver highway where 2 people were killed in an apparent road rage shooting Tuesday afternoon. In Pittsburgh, police say a triple shooting Tuesday night has left 1 dead and 2 others hospitalized. And a 7-year-old caught in the crossfire of a drive-by shooting in Ohio in early June is now sharing details of her traumatic experience.
I never got shot before. That's why I don't go outside no more.
Now, federal officials are sounding the alarm on the effects gun violence is leaving on the nation.
Gun violence is a healthcare crisis in this country. I think it is important that we take actions to protect our communities and our neighborhoods.
We will be reinforcing the importance of identifying, investigating, and prioritizing the prosecution of those who are responsible for the greatest violence in our communities.
According to the Gun Violence Archive, shootings have scarred Americans nearly 300 times in the last 72 hours, including the shootings in Denver and Pittsburgh. In the Control Center, Nicole Sweat, Caplin News.
The Marlins came out swinging to close out the series with the Mariners.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
Things were so simple in November, and then suddenly they weren't simple at all.
The LGBTQ community shows strength through pride to honor those lost in a nightclub mass shooting. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
How prepared is your family if a tornado shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a hurricane? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking, let's go. You'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes. Make a plan today.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right because a few hours ago in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign, not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a 4th ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly.
Lights out. Good night.
And put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
I help our fellows design their paths as creative entrepreneurs. My experiences serving startups, creative businesses, and cultural organizations, and my journey as a queer mixed immigrant with Haitian and Arabic roots, inform the co-creative environment we foster at Radcliffe. We leverage our collective diversity to encourage the building of lifelong personal learning networks and mindsets that stimulate continuous innovation.
Members of the LGBTQ community are coming out and showing their strength in honor of the Colorado Springs nightclub shooting. Survivors of the Colorado Springs nightclub shooting are stronger today as a pride parade will be held in their honor.
Denver's 7 Colette Borderland has the story.
We are here and we are not going anywhere.
Pride Month.
You're free to step out proudly in public and say, this is who I am.
Is a statement.
It's a rebellion, but it's also a celebration of how far we've come.
And a reminder of the work that still needs to be done.
Things were so simple in November, and then suddenly they weren't simple at all anymore.
It's been a very different Pride Month for Michael Anderson.
Now I have this hypervigilance and hyper-awareness, which, you know, I don't know if that'll ever go away.
He moved from Florida to Colorado and was working as a bartender at Club Q.
I felt safe here. I felt comfortable. I felt like I could be myself without fear of violence or bullying or discrimination. Trying to restore that idea of safety, that idea of, you know, I'm not going to be harmed when that's so hard to do because someone literally tried to kill me and everybody else in that club.
The mass shooting at the Colorado Springs bar killed 5 people.
The heart and soul of Club Q, of course, being Derek and Daniel. And then we've got Ashley Powell, Raymond Green Vance, and Kelly Loving.
In spite of the fear, Anderson has been going to Pride celebrations throughout the country.
Denver's our last Pride for the month of June.
A parade that will be particularly special.
We have decided to honor survivors of Club Q as grand marshals in the parade this year.
Anderson says he's invited the survivors and victims' families to join the group.
And it's going to be a beautiful display, I think, of strength, of just vigilance, of fighting back and not being afraid.
Because the point of Pride.
Club Q is not going anywhere. The survivors of the shooting aren't going anywhere. We're not cowering in fear.
Is that love always wins. Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Last night, the Marlins faced the Mariners for the last game of the series in Seattle. After 2 straight losses to the Mariners, the Fish were finally able to get a solo home run in the 6th inning to prevent the sweep. The run was made by Jorge Soler, which brought his total runs to 20, and he's currently 3rd in the league. The final score was Marlins 4, Seattle 1. The Marlins head to Washington tomorrow for 3 more games before they come home. You're watching Newsbreak, and we're coming right back.
Really use a new tablet. I just don't have the money.
Let me ask you something. Do you have a Pell Grant?
Yes.
You do know you can get a free tablet, right?
Did you say free?
Yeah, free. It's simple. And the application is done in the store.
I could really use a tablet.
Go get one. Another satisfied customer. Stop by Panthertech in the Graham Center at FIU MMC today to speak with one of our associates to get your free tablet.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life. But how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have something called prediabetes. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Well, that's all the time that we have for Newsbreak. I'm Kenya Cardone.
I'm Amanda Gray. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.